So welcome to your next chapter. We're excited to be here this morning. My name is Saran Sefarelli, and I am the Senior Living Specialist. And today I am joined by Jan. Jan, hello. She is the founder of Age Friendly Vibes, and we're grateful to have you here this morning. Hello.
Great. Thank you. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us about yourself.
Well, I live in Denver, Colorado, and I'm a creative entrepreneur at this point in my career. I have been in the tech field. I was a web developer in the tech field for my entire career. I still do that part-time, but in the past 10 years, I've been dabbling with side hustles with creating training for iPhone users. And then most recently, I started a greeting card company that helps to promote age positivity.
Very nice. Tell me about that. Tell me about Age Friendly Vibes. I love the name, by the way.
Oh, great. Thank you. The idea is to just spread age positivity. It's Age Friendly Vibes is a stationery brand that the purpose is to put age positive messages out there in the world, and especially for people when they're celebrating their birthday. So it's to counteract all of the over the hill, and I call them the damn your old cards. So I like to think of it as damn you're hot as you get older instead of you're old. So my purpose is just to counter all the negativity that's out there, especially in the greeting card industry.
Yeah, especially at your birthday. What is that?
Yeah,
Who
exactly.
go to a party with over the hill and tombstones and all that stuff. It's absolutely
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I don't know who buys those cards that, say things like you're 1 year closer to the sweet release of death,
Right.
or it's like, happy birthday.
Or you got old when and all those things. It's like someone who's about to 60. I think it was 2 years. I'll be turning 60. I feel fantastic, by the way. I mean, it's
right, exactly.
And so I don't feel like I'm over the hill. I don't feel like it's time to go out to pasture. I don't feel like it's over.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably better now than I've ever felt.
Right. And that's the big myth. That's the big disconnect. And that making you feel bad about getting old is really just a way to sell products, honestly, to sell, between skin creams and potions to make you have a youthful, appearance. Women are disproportionately affected by ageism, which is discrimination against a person simply because of their age. And by the way, it works both ways. So younger people can be victims of ageism as well. So when you make it about age, it's ageism.
Yeah.
But as older adults, we're impacted by societal ageism in a culture, that values youth, especially when we're trying to seek employment or stay employed in our field.
Sure.
It's really prevalent there. It's also very prevalent in healthcare, in the way that we're treated as we get older.
Yes.
By the healthcare professionals. And most importantly, and the part that I'm the most passionate about, is there's some recent research out from Dr. Becca Levy, who's a professor at Yale University, that proves that people who feel old, who have self-deprecating humor about age, actually decrease their longevity by up to 7.5 years.
Wow.
So your mindset about aging actually shortens your lifespan by a significant amount. So that's what I'm most passionate about, is bringing awareness to people. When we go back to thinking about your birthday and your loved ones, it's like you're literally killing them with messages about how terrible it is to be old. And you may see it as well, but especially when you get to be 50 or 60, you've got, maybe some people, or maybe you're that way yourself, but you blame age and stop participating in
events. You can't do that because
learning new things. So that's where ageism comes into play.
Yeah. And people tell you you're too old for it too. Like if you
Yeah.
say, oh, I'm going to do this or that, I'm like a little kid. We went to the, here in Connecticut, we went to the Yard Goats game, which is like a minor league baseball team. And, the mascot was there. It's a goat. They're two goats. It's a girl and a guy. And I ran over, and my daughter hates this. She was actually already in the seats. So I got my picture taken. I texted it to her. I knew she was.
Yeah.
She said, "Mom, when I got that, because I'm like a little kid. When we went to Disney, I mean, when we saw Daisy and Donald and Vampira, and I'm telling you, I'm like a little kid, and I think I had the most kind of little kid fun at Disney than my family, because my family members are in their teens, or in terms of the kids are in their 20s, and my husband is over 60, so it's kind of like, but I enjoyed myself. I was excited to see
Yeah.
Snow White, Cinderella, and Minnie Mouse, and I think you're right. I think people tell you you're act your age, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Why? As long as I'm not doing anything harmful emotionally to someone because I'm acting immaturely, I think that's different than just being a kid, running through a park,
Right. Yeah.
after it rains in the summer. How much fun is that? That's
Yeah.
not being immature. That's just being a kid at heart. And you're right. I'm sure that would add to your lifespan as well as your quality of life.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we can all see people in our lives that have lived a long time, and they're healthy and they're vibrant, and they've lived a long, healthy, vibrant life. And one of the biggest things is, if you look back at those folks, most of the time they've got a very positive outlook about age. They look forward to getting older. They feel like it's the best time of their life. They feel like they're just getting started. So it's all the mindset stuff around how you feel about getting older that has a huge impact on how we age. So that's kind of the motivation behind my brand. And again, like you mentioned, especially when you're celebrating a birthday, because it's hard to not talk about age when you're celebrating birthday, because that's when you're becoming a year older. And so it's kind of an easy time to like take a swing at somebody and make them feel bad about getting older. But my message is, if you can actually either start a conversation about ageism, or actually address age in a way that's positive or gets somebody thinking, I think it's an opportunity on their birthday to actually kind of have a positive impact on them. So
yeah, well, it is a celebration.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
not a funeral, it's not a memorial service, but a lot of times as you get older, that's what you kind of feel.
Yeah.
I was just thinking as you were talking about back in the day, for some reason I'm thinking of like the Gladiator movie, or any of those types of things where, Karate Kid, where getting older, it's wisdom. It's like
Yeah.
go to the older adults for wisdom. Even that movie with Mama Coco, it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
It's like when you're older, you're seen as someone. Go to the sages, go to the mountains, or even the Wizard of Oz. He was
Yeah.
an older person, and for some reason, like you said, and I know you had written in your blog, like in America, it just seems as though getting old is like you just have to try to stay young, as
Yeah.
opposed to embracing
Right.
age and embracing the beauty of that, and just like I said, for me, getting older has been awesome.
Yeah.
The wisdom that I have, and the calmness, and the ability not to say everything that comes into my mind, and is amazing, and that comes with age. And so
Yeah.
I think here at the community, we have several people who are in their 90s and over 100. We have a gentleman that just moved in who wrote a book, and he's out there promoting it. And
Yeah.
he was
It's
in World
amazing.
War II, and it's just like, that's the way it should be.
Right.
We have people here that people always ask me, well, how old are the people there? And it's a senior living community, but it's like, even though we do have people here who are younger, in their 50s and 60s and so forth, but we have people in their 70s and 80s, 90s and 100s that are probably more vibrant than some of the people that are in their 50s and 60s. Sometimes, like you said,
Right.
we give up. It's just like, oh, I'm too old for that, or that's for young people, and as opposed to going for it. And there was someone on American Ninja Warriors. Now I'm disclosing my little secrets of what I watch on TV. But she was in her 70s,
Yeah, I saw
she
that.
made
Yeah.
a record, a world record. That's the first time they had someone that age. Now, granted, she didn't get past the first obstacle, but so what? She still, she showed
Yeah.
up. She still, she still did her part. And it's amazing to see that, see someone in their
Right.
70s, kind of trying to, doing something, going for it, for something that people as little as 10 years old are competing to do.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I think
Yeah.
you're
She's
right,
just
that
proof
mindset. Yeah,
that your age doesn't matter really on when it comes to that. If you want to do something like that, you can certainly do it. So
I agree. And we always talk about, our slogan is your next chapter. And I love that, because we truly mean that. I come from the hospice world, and I always talk to people, now, because I came from hospice and I have someone who has someone who's passing away. I try to give them advice. And I always tell them, there's quality death. That's part of your journey. Death doesn't have to be, if you have the opportunity, and death doesn't have to be something horrible. It doesn't have to be something ugly. In hospice, we always talked about a good death, because that's part of your journey. And if you're still here and you're in your 90s or 100, and maybe you can't do all the things because maybe you do have some physical limitations that you're able to do, but if you're still here and you have your mind, and keep going, keep finding ways to keep living. And I love that what you're doing is facilitating that. It's
yeah.
inspirational. We have our store here, which we were talking about offline, and I definitely want to get your products in our store. So when we're
Right.
giving birthday cards, we're not giving the tombstone or the was it the Far Side, it's
Yeah,
the
exactly.
hell, or the Grim Reaper.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'm not
Yeah.
there yet,
Yeah.
and if I'm still here, then my journey is continuing. And I think that's kind of your message. I
Yeah.
really were talking about your blog earlier, the case for age positivity and greeting cards. And I think what you're doing is definitely an amazing thing. How can we be a part of the solution? I mean, I know I work here in a senior living community, so I feel like I can do my part. But out there, how can a young person or an old person or somewhere in the middle, what can they
Right.
do? I know you said the conversation, but what else can we do to kind of help
Yeah, I think
healthy
right.
message?
Well, I think when we encounter, first of all, it's being aware that ageism is harmful. And especially when it comes to birthdays, just stop with the can't you take a joke, or it's just a joke. Because the thing about a birthday card on a greeting card shelf that is now declaring you old is that it's not just an inside joke between you and your bestie. You might think, oh, that's funny. That'll be great for my sister or for my whatever. That is a message about getting old is bad that's put out there into the universe, that your potential hiring boss is seeing, your potential medical professional, or more importantly, the marketing exec or people that create the content that just keeps perpetuating that message. So first of all, it's just stop doing you can't take a joke as an excuse for that type of humor, and instead use it as an opportunity to basically say, actually, life gets better as you get older, and I'm enjoying the age that I am. And I think you should look forward to becoming older as well. I think that when you educate younger people about the harmful impacts of ageism, they get it almost immediately. They understand that, and they just say, wow, I had no idea, because I thought it was funny, or whatever, to make fun of people that are getting older. So I think it's education, and then speaking up when somebody either says something to you that's ageist. There's a lot of comments that happen. One of the most common ones is you look great for your age.
Oh my gosh, it's like we're channeling each other. That was going to be my next comment. Yeah. That is like the worst thing that someone can say. It's like,
and one of the best all-time comebacks. One of the best all-time comebacks comes from Ashton Applewhite from This Chair Rocks, and in her book, she says to throw it back on the person and say, well, you look great for your age too. But you can further, go on to say, so what does this age look like? So
Right.
What, you could not be more different as a 6-year-old. There's so many life experiences, so many physical changes that happen in our
Yep.
bodies. There's so many changes. So they say if you've seen one 6-year-old, you've seen one 60-year-old.
Exactly.
If you think of like an 18-year-old, most of them are in a similar phase in life. Most of them are, in a similar like developmental cycle or whatnot. But so there's just no way that people treat people over 60 or over 50 all the same, but we couldn't be more different. So I think that's just the most important thing, is a realization. And then secondly is to just, use it as a launching point for a conversation about how you feel about getting older.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think educating the younger generation so that when they get to be my age or what have you, they don't, like you said, that getting older is a gift.
Yeah, exactly.
Go through various cycles, and it's like, and I like the idea, like what we do here is we have a lot of volunteers for stuff. Like I have now, like which I'm so excited, I have one of the residents who's volunteering to help me with the marketing. There's just so much knowledge there, and I think we leave that on the table and we don't benefit from the knowledge of our older adults.
Yeah,
I love,
exactly.
sitting out here talking to asking advice. I used to, years ago, I worked at another senior living community. I remember sitting outside, and I was young married, and I used to ask the guys advice, and they used to give me advice, and it was just, but it was great. It's like they know, they were married. They know, they understand the mind of a man, and it was great. It was like, this is my little my little group of mentors here. So it was good. And I, took advantage of their age and their wisdom,
Right.
as opposed to that.
Yeah.
So what are your plans for your company going forward? Like, are you going to, I see, in my opinion, out there speaking engagements. I know you did some speaking at a conference recently for greeting cards.
Yeah.
And I really think you need to get out there and,
yeah. So I really have a two-pronged approach to what I'm doing. And I am just getting started. My business is 2 years old. I've gotten myself up to speed in the greeting card industry. I've got a lot of makers and peers of mine that I've been able to educate about ageism. And I'm starting to see other makers start to make more age positive cards and take down those cards that are offensive from an age perspective. So that's very satisfying. I recently, sold a card to Barnes and Noble and Paper Source. I can show you. It's this one that says age is just a number of years you've been loved. So
nice. Yeah.
it's in the Barnes and Noble and Paper Source across the country. So in over 750 stores. So you should start to see more age positivity, and you're starting to see more age positivity on the shelf. There's still ageist cards making fun of getting older, but if you look, you can find cards that are a little bit more on the age positive side. So that's pretty exciting. And I've also been working in the senior living communities. I do a series of like stickers and buttons that promote age positivity. Like this one says, "Love your future self."
Nice.
And that's also been a really popular type of message to get out there. So that's just reminding people that, your future is bright, And so I've been working on education and awareness within the senior living community and spaces. And as you know, there's a lot, it's a very large industry. I'm working with a lot of the area agency on aging organizations to help get, age positive messages out to their organizations. So greeting card is a different thing because it's a personal exchange from one person to another, and it's very occasion related, like for your birthday or, retirement or something like that. But the stickers are really little mini billboards about age positivity. And so those are equally as important to get out there in the world. If you think of movements surrounding, the feminist movement or Black Lives Matter, any other social causes, and the amount of, I call it swag. You see people wearing a t-shirt or a hat or stickers or buttons, promoting their cause. And we just don't do that for ageism. So that's the other part that I'm working on, is just getting more swag out there so people can actually promote these messages to anybody that they come in contact with. So
Yeah, I think that sounds great. What was I gonna say? I lost my I lost my train of thought because you were saying so much great stuff. But I would love to have you come to our senior living community and definitely speak for sure. I think
yeah, that's great.
right. And
Yeah, I
t-shirts
think
are great.
the speaking part is just really more about bringing awareness to ageism, and not only in our community and our society, but within ourselves. And so I think when people stop and think about that, then they stop telling themselves they're old for a minute, or just stop themselves for a minute and think, oh, it's probably not a good idea for me to do that because of that longevity component that I was mentioning. And then again, just giving people concrete things that they can do when they're out and about in the world to help not only with their own mindset about aging, but to their loved ones, to those that they come in contact with. So,
Yeah, I know what I was going to tell you. I think you should get out to the party stores.
oh, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, there's like whole aisles of like over the hill and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to name
Yeah.
any names, but it definitely is a national chain. But I definitely think, you should get out there and create maybe banners and to replace
Yeah.
stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like a whole party line so that, because we don't have an alternative at this point. We have that stuff, but
Right.
do a whole aisle of, positive stuff, which I think I would definitely
Yeah.
and do it.
There's,
Please do it in the next 2 years.
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of opportunity.
60 and I want my family.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity as well, like as you mentioned, to spread age positivity on birthdays. So
Yep,
I'm pretty new, kind of leading edge and leading the charge on all of this, and
definitely.
happy to be doing that. And
Yeah,
it's going to take more than just me. So
yeah,
that's why I'm trying to encourage my peers that are makers to
yeah,
get more age positivity out there as well, because it really does take all of us to become aware of this.
definitely. And your timing is so perfect because obviously the world has kind of shifted. Even if you look at your Dove commercials, your Old Navy commercials,
Yeah.
they're showing everybody. It's not
Yeah.
all walks of life. It's no longer, which is nothing wrong with it. The beautiful person who looks perfect. It's everybody. So your
Yeah.
time couldn't be more perfect. And having this message get out there. How do we get your products? How do we learn more about you? How do we get in touch with you if someone wants to
Yeah.
have you come and speak? Me first, though, our community first, and then
So you can find me on Age Friendly Vibes everywhere. So my website is agefriendlyvibes.com. I'm really active on Instagram because where I have a visual product, and that's where other card makers are. So I need to be
yeah,
right in the fold there.
yeah,
Be active on LinkedIn as well,
nice.
with the pro aging, movement and community around there. I do have a Facebook page as well under Age Friendly Vibes. So yeah, and then my email is simple. It's just jan@agefriendlyvibes.com. So anybody can just email me at any time and, just kind of let me know, if you have any opportunities to speak, or if you want to help distribute products. I have an affiliate program as well. So if you promote my products, you can get a little kickback on commission. Or
Nice.
if you just want to, create a birthday card stash of your own that's got more age positive options in it, I'm there for that as well. So yeah.
Well, I definitely think the folks here, like I said, I want to get your stuff in our store. It's going to be a hit for sure. And we'll talk more about that offline because this is the perfect place for you to be because
Yeah.
these guys, there's constantly birthdays. And I think actually for our birthday luncheon as well, what a great card to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. So we have a lot of opportunity. So great to meet you.
Yes.
And I look forward to future communications. We have been talking with Jan Golden from Age Friendly Vibes on your next chapter, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.